Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to LilyLuLou. If you haven't been here before, my name's Karen. I'm the Junk Journal Geek, and sorry, I'm trying not to cough. I'm here today to make a little something. Claire over at Purple Poppy Paper Crafts has a monthly challenge running in her Facebook group to make a piece of ephemera using 5 items each month. So I thought I'd come on today and make my January item with you. So for month 1 we're making a photo frame, and then these are the 5 items we need to include: buttons, a paper clip, some fabric, some packaging and a book page. So I've been tidying up my craft room. I feel much better. I've actually got space on my desk. I was literally working in like this section of my cutting mat over the last few weeks because there was just stuff everywhere all around me. So I feel a bit better, and I've also ended up with this little bowl, my little Buddha bowl. It's all like little tiny bits and pieces that I didn't know where to put as I was tidying up my desk. And I've also got some lace in there and some string that I was just like throwing tiny bits in there as I was going along, and there's some fabric and lace and things in there, so maybe we can pull something from there. I've also got a roll of hessian on my desk, so that's some fabric. I've got all my buttons close to hand. Most of them are on the windowsill, and then I've got another box over in the corner here that you can't see, another big box of buttons. So we're okay on the button front. I've got my jar of paper clips, and I've also got these little pegs, which they're stationary peg, you know, so they look like clothes pegs, but they're used to clip papers together. So I've got those in case I wanted to use those instead. Fabric I've covered in there. Packaging, I'm going to use I think I'm going to use one of these ladies off of this crisp packet to go in my photo frame. So that will be my packaging. I've got some book page here that was on my desk when I was tidying up, so I just kept that to hand. And then because we're making a photo frame, obviously, straight away I thought envelope. So I've used this to make something else, and this is what was left. So I'm going to use this as the basis of my photo frame. So other than that, I'm not sure what we're doing, but that's where we're going to start. So I cut this lady out to use her somewhere else, and obviously she didn't get used. So I'm thinking she's sort of ready to go in there, but because she's cut out, it might look a bit odd. Whereas if I do this lady that I haven't cut out yet, I might be able to make her look more like a real photo. So yeah, I think I'll use her. So we're going to use this lady off the end. I've got another one of these crisp packets somewhere with the same 3 ladies on. I think they're fabulous. These are crisps that my husband eats, and I steal the packages when he's finished. So if we just let's just see roughly where we would want that cut, and then the lady with the cheese can stay where she is for another day. So if I cut that about there, that should be about right. So that will get us started. And other than that, I have no idea what I'm going to do with all this. So we'll put these ladies away. I still have a pile this side of me of stuff that I have left to go through, but this side is half my desk and I've got space to glue next to me, and then right over at the far end I've got my little stash of boxes of bits that I pull in when I'm making, you know, like tickets and beads and things like that. They're all kept close at hand. She looks quite nice in there, doesn't she? And then I've got a pile of collage fodder, which is not a huge pile, it's just a little pile ready for me to use. And then another pile of like glue pages. So I feel a bit better. I feel a bit more organised. I feel like I know what I'm doing a bit more now. So, oh, excuse all this here. I've been doing quotes for people this morning. Right, so what should we do regarding the photo frame? So I was thinking, you know, I could put a button or something on just to decorate at the end, and I could make one of my button flowers and do that. That might look quite nice. I think I want to pull in the green from the band on her hat for a bit of colour, but I don't really know what I'm doing other than that. And having said that, I do have green peg in here, so I have used these before, but not for a long time. Oh, I can't get them open. I don't even remember where I bought these. So we could maybe use a green peg somewhere. And I think I'll make this, and I think I'll put it in my own journal just to keep. I don't think it's going to go in a journal that I will be making for anything. So you can tell I'm procrastinating because I don't know what I'm doing. So what pages have we got here? Anything that jumps out at me that I might want to use? I'm not going to go through the book and find any other pages, but so how is everybody? I hope you're all well and happy and having a good start to the new year. Everything's back to normal here today. My daughter's gone back to uni. My husband's at work. It's still quite early here, so there's probably a lot of traffic noise outside because everybody's on their way to work. So, I think we'll go with this page. Got a bit of jazz on here and jaunty with her jaunty hat, so that's what I'm going to use. Now this strip here is really narrow, so I don't know whether to, I think maybe I should stick this photo in first and then close this. So that then I can put a strip of something on there and wrap it around. Oh, maybe that's where the fabric could come in. Maybe we could put some lace or something on there, because it's a bit narrow for, you know, a strip of paper on there. Let's have a look what we've got here. See, we could maybe put something like that on there. And then on the back, I could put some plain paper for journaling space. So yeah, that could be a plan. So I think I will just put a little bit of ink down there just to take off the white. Oh dear, that was a bit heavy-handed, Karen. So maybe our button flower will go up there. Although hopefully you won't see too much of that when that's on. So as I say, I knew I wanted to use the envelope, and I knew I wanted to use one of those ladies, but other than that I don't really have a plan of how this is going to work and what it's going to end up looking like. So right, I think we will stick her down first now. Does she need to go over a bit more? It's very slippery, all of this, because it doesn't matter if she sticks out, I can trim her afterwards. So that's about right. So also I'm not sure how well this is going to stick to this, so I may well pop it through the machine afterwards. You know, go around it with the sewing machine so that it's, oh, I'm going to move that now after all that. Yeah, so that it's secure. So right, let's see if we can get her in position. So I think it was about there. I don't want that gold bit in at the bottom. Right, so I think that will be okay. And then stick this down. So I don't know how well it's going to stick to that shiny paper, but we'll do it, trim it, and then take it to the machine, I think, and I'll probably stitch that on when I take it to the machine so that it's well secured. So that's a start. Then I want to put excuse me, I want to put this bit of book page on. Now I've tied it up, obviously I'm not going to be able to find anything now, am I? Where have I put my rulers? I thought I'd put them right in front of me. Oh yeah, there they are. So let's rip that down there. I'm going to pop that there. So that we've got jaunt and jaunty. Don't want jaundice. I'm just looking at the word. I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see, but I want to make sure there's no really horrible words on here. So I wonder how much of that I'm going to lose now. That's okay, we've got the words. Doesn't look particularly straight, but there you go. Just deciding whether I want to fold these over or tear them off, but if I'm putting journaling pieces on the back, a journaling paper on the back, probably don't need to go over the edges, and it's just for me as well, so trim that off. So that's the, now I need to keep in mind what I've got here to use. Photo frame, buttons, paper clip, fabric, packaging and book page. Right, packaging, fabric, book page. So if we're going to have that, we could put some other fabric on as well, couldn't we? I've got a big bag of fabric next to me because I'm starting the Journal of Stitchery that's Rachel and Sarah from Roxy Creations. I'm joining in this time, So I've put together a bag of bits and pieces that I think I might want to use. So that's right next to me, and I'm just thinking, I wonder if there's anything in here, because I've got quite a lot of greens in here. I'm wondering if there's anything green that I might like to just add. I'm not sticking my head in the way, am I? No, that's a bit too dark. I want to try and bring in the green of her hat. That's a bit light. That's a bit, I really want to, oh, I thought somewhere I had some excuse me, bright green sari silk, but I can't see it in my jar. All I can see is green Christmas ribbon, and I'm not going to use Christmas ribbon. Right, what's in here? Oh, that's a little bit lighter than the other one. That might do. What's in here? You can't even see where I'm rummaging, can you? They might be useful to pop on as well. That might be useful for sewing a button on if I decide to sew it on. Come away, come away. Anything else lurking here? Don't think I have. So, do we perhaps want... I don't think that's going to be long enough to make a ruffle. Oh, all these bits of string. Scissors, where are you? There you are. Let's chop that off. But would you have fabric on a photo frame? You know, like this as part of the frame? You might do, mightn't you? The light is, I don't know if you can, I don't think it's picking it up on camera, but the light from my window is reflecting on this plastic and I can't actually see properly what I'm doing. That green of her hat is still a bit brighter green than this. Oh, that's quite bright. Maybe I should carry on with the book page and then pop that on. I'm not sure if that's too light. This is about the right colour, but with the cherries on, it's not Christmas fabric, but it does look a bit Christmassy, doesn't it? Although really it should be summer because it's cherries. Just wondering if I could pop that section on somewhere. That strip's not wide enough at the side. Right, I'm going to collage the rest of it because I'm faffing now, and then we'll decide what to do. So I need some at the bottom and some at the top. Let's take off. She could be a WI lady making jam, couldn't she? I'm not going to get the jam on there unless I cover up the jaunt and the jaunty, and I don't want to cover up the jaunt and the jaunty, so maybe we'll save the jam for something else. Why don't you just fold it where you need it, Karen? Marvellous idea. Ah! This book page is very fragile. And then how much do I want at the side? Okie dokie. Now we've ended up with jangle on there, which is Christmassy. Never mind. Not sure how much of that you're going to see anyway, so probably none of it. So pop that on there like that. Down a little bit. Oh. That's definitely not straight. I'm not going to try and tear that off until the glue's dry. And then what do we want down here? Jasmine. Just realised I've left the lid off of my ink. That will dry up if I don't look after it. Okay, let's whip that bit off. And then where do we want to come here? About there. Right, so that's our actual photo frame. So then I'm going to stitch that along there. And I am, do I want to do, I think a book page flower with a button is going to be too much, and I need to find, yeah, too much book page. I need to find a better colour button. Oh, now that's not bad, but then will that go? Maybe we could add a little flower, little lacy flower, and make a sort of a little cluster. I'm trying to think of a story to explain why you would have a paper clip on a photo frame. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Now I wonder if I can sew through all of that, straight through the thing. Right, well, if I'm going to attempt to sew, I will need to go and pop this through the sewing machine first before I start trying to sew things on. Oh, I wonder if that'll cover up too much of the flower, I think. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. Yeah, I need to go and go around the edges under the sewing machine, because once that's on there, obviously, it won't be able to go under the sewing machine. So I'll just pop you on pause for a moment. I'll go and do that, and then I'll be back and decide what to do with our paper clip. See you in a moment. Okay, so I have stitched around. I realised before I stitched, I needed to pop the backing on. So I got some more packaging paper. So we've brought in the packaging element again. Pop my bee back in his bowl. So I backed the photo frame with that packaging paper, and then just stitched all around, and I've got green thread left from Christmas. I tell you what, it's so long since I did any stitching on my machine, I almost forgot how to use my machine. I started trying to stitch without actually threading the needle to begin with, and I was sitting looking at this machine thinking, what's going on, what's wrong with it? Why isn't it working? And every time I stopped to do something, I was like, I can't remember which buttons to press. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Right, where's my sewing box? Now my sewing box is holding up my pile of stuff I haven't finished going through yet, so there could be an incident waiting to happen. Scissors. Here we go. I don't know why there's two of those out. Right, let's snip this off at the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to see if I can sew my button cluster on. I've come back fortified with a cup of Lady Grey to try and help with this silly coughing. Now, I think this needle, I really don't know whether to, oh, that was why I hadn't put the backing on. I did think if I sewed all the way through, I could have put the backing paper on afterwards to cover up my stitching. I don't know whether to try and sew the whole thing on together in one go, or whether to sew this cluster together and then just stick it on. I think I might do that. So let's use some of this thread. I can probably match the colour better if I want to spend the time looking for different thread, but I don't think it's necessary. And I'm just deciding how many strands I want to use, just so that actually I shouldn't be using this, because this is a nice long piece of embroidery floss, and that is long enough to do bookbinding with, sewing in pages with. So I'm going to, having said that I'm not going to look for better thread, I am going to look for different thread, because the ones in here are too short. Let's put that needle back in there before I lose it. These flosses are all too short to use, well, most of them are too short to use for sewing signatures together. So let's find something. if you haven't been here before, you may not know I was a cross stitcher. I haven't done any cross stitch for a long time, but I have quite a large selection of embroidery threads, as you can see, and I have missed stitching, which is why I'm going to join in with the Journal of Stitchery this time, because all these things are just sitting here and I want to use them. I miss stitching, so I'm going to have a go and join in. Did I just look at that one? I think I'll go with this one. The reason I have lots and lots of greens in this is one of the first things I ever cross stitched was a picture, well, it was two pictures actually, of, it was a cross stitch version of watercolour illustrations of two different types of lilies that are on display, I believe, in the Victoria and Albert Museum, but I could be wrong about that. I did that about, must be 30, maybe even 35 years ago. I still have some threads. How scary is that? Thing is, when you do cross stitch, you buy the threads you need for the project you're doing, and then, you know, the next project comes along and it's all slightly different colours, and you need to have the different colours because if you're doing something realistic, you know, you want the shading, so you need the right colours to make that work. So consequently you end up with lots of different threads, which is lovely when when you are always working, because you've always got a nice choice of things to work from. Right, we've gone through there and we've gone through there, so let's decide how we're going to do this. Do I want a little tie at the front or not? And do I want that overhanging? Do I want that lace overhanging there? No, I want it on the green so you can see the green. I want it a little bit that way. And I think I will have it a little tie at the front with little legs hanging. So we'll go in there and leave that so we've got plenty to tie a knot with. Don't think my fat fingers will cope with tying a bow. And then I will go back through the first hole. Come on. I've gone, I want to, does it matter? Oh no, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I'm muttering away to myself. Then I'm just going to go the opposite way to secure that button because it's got 4 holes. Then I'm going to come back up in this second hole and tie that off. So, excuse me. And then this is like, if this was a flower, this is like the little stamens in the middle in my world. even though there's only going to be 2 of them. Oh, I'm getting in a tangle. I'm supposed to be tying a knot, not tangling a knot. Right, so I feel like leaving them long. Should I leave them like that? I don't know why my knot's gone over to one side. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to be looking at it that closely, are they? Well, I might leave them long like that for a change. And if they get on my nerves, I can always trim them off a bit more later. Right, so now I need to glue that down there somehow. This gives me vibes of a butterfly landing on a flower. I know it's not an exact representation of that, but that's what it makes me think of. Now, are any of my glues that are supposed to glue fabric going to work, because they've all been sitting here for weeks and weeks and weeks not being used? Probably not. So I may have to, let's just see if any of this will come out. I don't think it will. Right, let's stand that one up. I'm not sure that that's actually got much left in there. Now with this, let's see if this colour would work. I know I've run out of Fabri-Tac. So what I'm going to do is just use the Cosmic Shimmer glue for now, and I might have to go back in when I've sorted out my glues and just add a little bit of something else to make sure it all stays where it's supposed to be. So if we just pop that there a bit on the wonk, and then excuse me, what are we going to do with this? I know what we're going to do with this. We are going to find a word or something. Let's see what I've got here. I have a little saying here, such is life, and I feel like that suits that lovely lady. I'm getting brave at using the scissors, aren't I? I know it won't be straight. I'm awful at cutting in a straight line because it's nowhere near straight. But it'll do. Oops. Now I'm going to pop a little bit of glue stick on the back of here, but I'm going to have it held in place by the peg as if it's just been pegged there. Doesn't stand out enough. I going to put it on? It needs something. That's just not long enough. This is the good thing about tidying up my desk, because there's still piles of, piles. There's 2 piles of things on my desk and the little pot of goodness. So my desk is clear so I can see what's what, but I've still got, you know, a little rummage pile to get inspiration from. That's just how I like it. That's better, isn't it? I can imagine her saying, "Such is life." I think she's Irish. I think she's one of my husband's ancestors. I won't attempt to say "such is life" in an Irish accent, but that's where I'm going with that. So that is my finished photo frame. So we have, let's just double check, we've got all the bits. We've got the photo frame made from an envelope. We have a button, we have a paper clip, we have some fabrics, the picture itself is packaging, and this is packaging, and then we have book page all around it. I'm really pleased with that. I love how that's turned out. I'm happy. So thank you for joining me today. Sorry. Please excuse my continuing voice problems. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe you've got a little bit of inspiration, and I would encourage you to come and join Claire's group. There's all sorts of challenges and swaps and lovely things going on in there. It's on Facebook and it's called Purple Poppy Paper Crafts, and I'll try and remember to pop a link in the description. So I'll be back again with you all hopefully in a couple of days, all being well. In the meantime, stay safe. Thank you for joining me today, and go and enjoy your own crafty time. Bye bye.